Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to your favorite show on the internet, Raw Law Unfiltered, with your favorite host on the YouTubes and the Law Tubes, the DUI Guy Plus. Today we are going to be doing another wonderful, fun stream. And today's stream is a continuation of the saga of Amber Heard and surviving Amber Heard. How Johnny Depp had to survive the horrible atrocities that Amber Heard put him through. Now, please excuse me as I'm still, believe it or not, recovering from whatever it is that has been going around. I mean, it has been a nightmare. I was sick from like January 29th to like February 29th. It felt like it was more than that. It was like March 6th or whatever. And then I finally got better. And when then my girlfriend got sick, like a couple weeks ago, a week and a half ago, and I was fine. And then on day 5 of her being sick, I got sick. So like that was a week ago. That was on the 17th. So, and then we went to the seminar, and I've been coughing up a lung, but it's okay. I'm doing all right. It's just annoying as hell to be literally. I feel like I've been sick for 2 months, and I just can't wait to get back at it. We already have a couple of donations, so I'm just going to address those real quick. We're going to be watching the new surviving Amber Heard documentary. I actually premiered just 3 months ago, 3 months and 3 days today, by Randos Productions. Thank you so much, babe. Look at this. My girlfriend made me tea. I didn't even expect this. Thank you so much. Wow. Look. Oh my God. What a stellar girlfriend. Look at this. She made me tea with my new mug. Do you guys want to see my new mug? It's not zooming. Come on. Focus. Focus, camera. Nope. It's got Tugs Jugs on the mug. It's Tugs Jugs mugs. Very exciting stuff. Very exciting. By Randos. Rando Productions. Randos Productions made this one. Thank you, baby. Thank you, baby. She says you're welcome. Thank you so much. 2024 says, which by the way means 2024. Ha ha ha. In Francois, which I do not speak. My girlfriend speaks a little bit of French, but no one has ever been able to pin it on her yet. Regardless of who is telling the truth, says 2024, judging by both testimonies, the relationship was so miserable, so pitiful, they could have burned all the money they had and it would have made no difference. Never envy a celebrity. Wise words. And TCF, thank you for the 1,500 isks. Iceland. Icelandic money. Okay, I just found you covering this earlier today and literally finished watching part 2 less than 5 minutes ago. Talk about perfect timing. Love from Iceland. Islandia. I've never been. I want to go. I'm going to go visit one day. And Subisu, thank you very much for the one gifted. I'm going to try and mute my mic anytime I have this outburst of cough. Again, I'm completely fine. It's just my lungs are not 100%. Shout out in the chat, by the way, if you got a gifted sub from Subisu. Shout it out. Who got it? Who got it? Who's the culprit? No, I'm just kidding. Calico26 says, if Johnny didn't get out, I could see him ending up like Phil Hartman. Phil Hartman. Phil Hartman. Who was he? Why does that name not even ring a vague bell? I feel like such a noob. I don't know who that is. Maybe chat can fill me in. Maybe chat can fill me in because I don't know who that is. But hashtag buckle up. It's the law. Is continuing its rounds. He was on SNL. Okay. All right. Now, these are the headphones I always have. These headphones are fucking expensive too. They're like $600 or like $800. It's because they're studio headphones. You see, they kind of like, if you sit perfectly like this, you can't even tell I have anything in my ears, and I can hear everything. You know, if I have a guest or if I have, it's only when I move my head or when this cord comes up. See, if I bend myself, like you can see the cords, but the whole point is that they're not like dangling down here, you know. But anyway, these are good, good in-ear monitors. Exactly. Katie Power says hashtag buckle up, hashtag it is the law. Without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Johnny Depp surviving Amber Heard, the timeline, part 3 by Randos Productions. Here we go.
I have a unique opportunity to remind other women, not only that this doesn't have to be the way it is, you don't have to do it alone. You're not alone. And also, we can change this. Violence against women is not limited to actual physical violence. It is also about how we deal with it and how we talk about it in the media and in our culture.
Hey, and by the way, have you noticed in that first 17 seconds already, why are her eyes darting around all over the place? When you're talking about something so serious, wouldn't you be like, you know, like this? You guys, I have something very important to tell you. You know, this is something that we can talk about. This is not something that women should be running away from. You know, I'm not going to be talking like, you know, I have something very important to tell you guys. Like, this is something that women should not be running away from. You know, this is very important. Like blinking a lot. You see how it's like it's deceptive language. It's deceptive body language that she is exhibiting. I could never get over that fact. You know what I mean? See, Dolores, I'm the same way, right? Oh no, I'm already frustrated with Amber, and she only said a few words so far. Because she's creating the story as she goes. There you go. Oh, Phil Hartman's wife shot him in the head while he was sleeping, then shot her. Oh, that's terrible. That is terrible.
I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
People say, well, why would she make this up? I think it's really clear. She's doing this for leverage in the divorce. If Johnny Depp were to be convicted of domestic violence, the court could actually prolong the period of spousal support.
What have you lost as a result of Ms. Heard making these allegations?
Everything.
You?
Nothing less than everything.
Oh, there was a disclaimer.
On February 2015.
Sorry, I just want to make sure that I read the disclaimer. These events are according to what is available through the courts and the media. We, Rando Productions, do not claim to have first-hand knowledge about what took place or the persons mentioned. This narrative film is only meant to serve as a basis for social commentary. Nothing in it should be considered fact.
On February 2015, Amber and Johnny tie the knot in a small ceremony on his private island in the Bahamas. The wedding is attended by Amber's friends and family and a small circle of Johnny's. Reportedly, Johnny's family was skeptical about Amber. In these pictures, captured by radar online, the only person by Johnny's side is his son, Jack.
I fought for that wedding. We had that wedding. Beautiful wedding. For what? If we don't.
Amber Heard that I knew for the first year and a half was not this suddenly this opponent.
The marriage, I
promise you.
worked so hard to make happen. It's like, you.
Don't talk about it making the wedding happen. Talk about the 4 years of please. It was, she had become my opponent, and everything that I did, she didn't accept it.
I want the security back. I freak out and cannot make normal decisions, calm decisions.
That's
trauma.
Later, on March 8th, when Johnny is in Australia filming the 5th installment of the Disney franchise Pirates of the Caribbean, the trial reveals that Amber would fly there to confront him about his lawyers engaging her about a post-nuptial agreement.
When you and Miss Heard got married, did you have a prenuptial agreement in place?
No, we did not. There always seemed to be some reason or another why she wouldn't discuss it, or if we did discuss it, it would springboard into unpleasantness and then arguments.
What happened when Miss Heard came to visit you in Australia?
Ms. Heard was upset because, as it was too late for a prenup agreement, I had called my lawyer at the time and asked him if he could have one of his lawyers sit down with Ms. Heard and give her a basic rundown of what a postnuptial agreement meant. And Ms. Heard told me that the attorney that she met with had laughed at her and was rude and dismissive. All she was being shown was an example of postnuptial agreement, which sent her into a tailspin. So by the time she arrived in Australia, that was sunk very deep into her psyche. I mean, so much so that what really surprised me was that she kept saying, "I'm not even in your will. I'm not even in your will." I thought that was an odd thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
And in a fit of anger during this confrontation, Amber would hurl vodka bottles at Johnny, severing the tip of his finger.
And she could not let go of the fact that I was in on this post-nup agreement and that I was trying to trick her. So I just told her those were not my intentions. She was irate. She was irate and she was possessed. It wasn't nice being called an ass kisser to lawyers or a pussy that didn't fight for her or stand up for her.
You do not fight for me, and then you want to sit here and make me sound so terrible to be around.
Fight for you?
You don't. Everything I've already explained.
No,
10 minutes.
No, fight for you. I don't understand. I did call my lawyer. I was very upset that she was pushed to that limit.
Yeah, he sold his island to J.K. Rowling.
And in fact, none of it had happened. She threw the large bottle and it made contact and shattered everywhere.
How big a piece of skin?
I just, you know, you can tell her.
About a year later, Johnny's situation worsens. His relationship with Amber is as toxic as ever. Career and finances are in shambles. In addition to that, his mother, Betty Sue, is in a tough battle with cancer. Then comes April 21st, 2016. Johnny was at a business meeting to get his finances back in order, causing him to be late to Amber's 30th birthday party at the Penthouse, which infuriates Amber.
A means for me to say, hey, I'm not going to bite your head off if you come here. Please just don't flake on my birthday party. Either way.
You were upset that Mr. Depp was late to your 30th birthday, weren't you?
I was.
What happened after the guests left the party?
She was free to commence the usual verbal barrage. At that point, there was so much in my head from the meeting She was well informed that I was in an intense meeting.
Oh wait,
that-
sorry. Chad is correcting me. I thought for some reason J.K. Rowling bought his island. Chad is saying no. J.K. Rowling bought Johnny Depp's yacht. I'm just gonna double check this. No, I know I'm right. Here we go. Come on, you guys, get with the program. I know I'm not crazy. Here's the info real quick. Johnny Depp's former $3.6 million Bahamas island is a paradise, sizing 45 acres, surrounded by 6 beaches, lagoon, and lots more. He bought it for $3.6 million during the first Pirates. He really liked it, so he bought it. And last year, I believe, or in 2004. And he sold it to J.K. Rowling for $75 million in 2016. There we go. Maintenance is expensive. I mean, $400,000 a month is really high. But yeah, no. Here's the text. I know I'm not crazy. I told you guys. Johnny sold the island to J.K. Rowling in 2016 for $75 million. The reason for this was reported to be that it troubled him with memories of his ex-wife Amber Heard. Boom. Right there. All right, back to the show.
Had a lot to do with not just my life and my future, but my children's. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if houses were going to start going away. I got into bed. I remember the television was on. She entered the bedroom trying to poke at me and get me to react, rattling off all the wrongs I'd done to her in that particular day and how unreliable I am. And I did not engage. And she didn't get a jump out of me or a jolt out of me. She got out of bed. She came to my side.
Because I left you because you fucking haymakered me, man. You came around the bed and fucking started punching on me. Why?
You've got a person who is throwing multiple shots at your face, at your head, at your neck, at anything she could hit. So I got up out of bed and I grabbed her by the shoulders and I sat her down on the bed and I said, I'm leaving. Please don't get off the bed. Please don't follow me. Please don't try and stop me. I'm leaving. And she got up off the bed and
Sorry to interrupt again, but I did the math, Bree. With $400,000 a month in maintenance over the course of 12 years, he only made like $6 million. So he bought it for 3.6, but he invested like 68 million into it. Or like 65 million into it over the course of 12 years. So technically he only made like $6 million. Don't be confused. Johnny Depp only made like $6 million when he sold the island. I know it's the kind of math that like make your head spin. But I mean, you do the math yourself. 300,000 to 400,000 a month in maintenance. Let's call it an even 350 times 12 times 12. That's like a 50,400,000. Excuse me, 50,400,000 plus the 3 that he paid for it. I mean, even if you make like 20 mil, still, it's not that much of a profit. It's not that much of a profit. But at least he's happy. That's all that matters.
she squared off at me in the doorway of our bedroom. And I said, what do you want to do? Hit me again? Would you like to hit me again? And I said, go ahead. Hit me. Bam. And then I just said, is that what you wanted? Would you like another? Bam. There's the second one. And I said, good. Now you're done. Grabbed her by the shoulders, walked her to the bed, sat her down, and said, don't follow me. Leave me alone. I'm out. I'm gone.
Yeah, 6 mil is not all that much money for a guy like that. You have
Next
to
day,
compare
Amber
it
would
to
go
what
to
he's got.
Coachella with her friends. Knowing that Amber left for the music festival with her friends, Johnny decides to take advantage of her absence to go pick up items that are important to him from the Penthouse.
I had gone to Mr. Bett and said, she's at Coachella. I think it's a good time to go downtown so that I can get some of my things, and get them out of there, especially the things that were precious to me, children things from friends. And he said, I don't think now's a good time to go. And I thought, it's the perfect time. She's not going to be home for 2 days. And then he showed me a photograph on his telephone. It's a photograph of the bed, our bed. And on my side of the bed, was human fecal matter.
One month later, on May 20th, 2016, Betty Sue, Johnny's mother, passes away at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center from cancer.
When those you love leave, we're the ones stuck with the pain, with the grieving.
You could tell he was, very sad, and he was mourning. And so I just left him alone until he needed me for whatever I had to do for him that day.
I had made peace with Betty Sue because I understood where she came from, and I understood how difficult her childhood was. And I understood that she had not had the proper training or proper teaching or the proper background to be anything other than what she had been when we were younger. I forgave her for all that, as one should. But I was glad that my kids got to see her and give her send off, I suppose. But it was it opened my eyes quite a lot to a number of things.
What were some of those things that your mother's death opened your eyes to?
That life is a bird song. That what feels like 100 years is in fact a second, millisecond.
So let me go, and you go, and I'll speak to you in a couple hours, okay?
Stop. Okay.
Why are you saying stop? May I go?
Please, it causes me so much stress when you leave, when you walk away from me with that. It's like you don't understand how much worse you're making this.
I haven't walked away.
Wait, hold on a second. You guys are onto something. That article that I've relied on may not be accurate. March 22nd, 2023. Johnny Depp still owns a private island. Little Halls Pond Cay is near the Bahamas. Holy shit. Then where the hell did this $75 million to J.K. Rowling come from? 60 miles away from Nassau, which is where we're going to be in 2 months with my associates and my team. 45 acres. That is huge. Little Halls Pond Cay. Yeah, and here's another one. This is from September. This is like 6 months ago. Johnny Depp says the only time he feels normal is on his private island. He says his island in the Bahamas was a safe place where he can escape the scrutiny and the interest of others. That is super cool. Yeah, he does still own it. I mean, I trust standard.co.uk and Market Realist. Unfortunately, these are still smaller, but way more than Koi Moi, which is like some, no offense to them, but I think it's like a Japanese tabloid. Yeah, I don't trust the Japanese tabloid. I think they're just trying to make a fuss. Johnny Depp has said he visits his private island in the Bahamas in a bid to feel absolutely normal and escape the scrutiny. Reflecting on his connection to the island named Little Halls Pond Cay, as he promoted Dior's new line of Sauvage fragrances, Depp said it feels like a sanctuary where he can be free. He told South China Morning Post, where I feel the most myself in this world and where I go to feel absolutely normal, I suppose, is my place in the Bahamas because it's an island and nobody's looking at me. That was September. That was September last year when I was in Europe. Literally, I was in Warsaw, September 14th. You've got to have some sanctuary, a safe place where you can escape the scrutiny in the interest of others, a place where you can just sit on a beach, read, paint, meditate, whatever. That's freedom to me. That's the only freedom. Huh. He added that being in the ocean makes him feel refreshed. Well, that's normal. We're like 80% water. The idea of being under, just free in the ocean with the wind pounding against you, the sun pounding down on you, and the shimmery ripples across the water, sparkles everywhere. It cleanses your mind, he says. The thing that intrigues me the most is the most basic, the simplest way of living. I don't have a decadent lifestyle, yet everything boils down to real simplicity for me. When you're on the island, you're not at some swanky hotel. It doesn't look like a Four Seasons or anything. It should look like what it is. It should look like a simple island house. Nothing grand, nothing. Just simplicity. Interesting. There it is. Interestingly, it was reported earlier this year that the Hollywood A-listers sold it to J.K. Rowling for a whopping $75 million, which appears to be debunked by his latest comments. So I guess these fucking tabloids tried to... Sorry, this is small. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there it is. No, it's been debunked. Never mind. I stand corrected. I believe his comments over some fucking tabloid. The 60-year-old has been under a microscope in recent years after being involved in a high-profile defamation case with his ex-wife Amber Heard over an op-ed in the Washington Post, which she implied she was the victim of abuse, and turns out she's the perpetrator. She's the perpetrator.
You won't let me fucking leave. Let me leave.
Abandonment and having him leave was her worst nightmare. The second one is what she reported to you, which is if he was going to leave her to de-escalate from the fight, she would strike him to keep him there. She would rather be in a fight than have him leave.
Yeah.
This is not love. This is not happiness. This is not.
I'm gonna die.
It opened my eyes to the fact
gonna
that,
die.
yes, try relationships. Try your best. If you're going to get out of it, if you're going to make an end, which somebody had to call it, and I decided that I would call Amber and tell her that my mom had died that day. And then I calmly said, look, I've made a decision and I think it's the best thing. I'm going to file for divorce.
Then comes the important date of May 21st, 2016.
Don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and join on as a member if you're so inclined. If you have questions, please feel free. Super chat. I'll get to them at the end of the video.
One day after Johnny's mother, Betty Sue, died, and the last day Amber would see Johnny for the next few months. Johnny goes to the Penthouse to pick up the sentimental items that he was going to pick up on April 22nd when Amber was at Coachella a month prior, before he was informed about the fecal fiasco.
So you were working on May 21st.
I was.
Did you end up taking Mr. Depp to the Penthouse's Eastern Columbia building?
I did, and Mr. Judge was along with me as well.
The trial reveals that Amber wanted to talk things through with Johnny at the Penthouse that day, so Johnny requested that Jerry Judge and Sean Bett accompany him as a precautionary measure in case things escalate with Amber.
We made a plan for him to come over during the day, thinking that might mitigate the amount that he would be drinking. Night is a little bit more dangerous.
Did you enter the Penthouses with Mr. Depp?
I did, myself and Jerry Judge. And
Oh, sorry, caption. I apologize.
And, on the center island in the kitchen, there were candles lit, wine glasses that were empty, and there was a bottle of wine that was open. There was also music playing in the background through the speakers.
Sorry, Kristen. Thanks for reminding me.
Did you first enter the Penthouse?
I did.
Did you stay inside the Penthouse with Mr. Judge and Mr. Depp?
No, shortly thereafter, Mr. Judge and I exited the Penthouse and stood outside the door.
So I had them waiting by the door. I had asked them pay particular attention. If anything was going to start to escalate, I did not want to be there. Because if you hear anything, if you hear screaming, you got to get in there. So leave the door unlocked.
It makes me far more stressed and far more angry when you take off. You use it to hurt me. It's a tool now that you use. You can't act like you don't do it knowing it's going to make me mad.
I'm not. It's not to get you mad. It's not to. It's just to get out of a bad situation while it's happening before it gets worse.
Johnny reveals that while inside with Amber, she tries to explain away the fecal matter on the bed to him and called I.O. Tillet Wright on the phone to attest that it's the Yorkie that did it.
I called my friend thinking that it would quell this, what I could only see as a delusion. I thought it was just a delusion he was having. And I thought, oh, well, so I thought if I could get my friend on the phone to prove that this didn't happen, we could move on and talk about the issues that we should be talking about. You know, we had, our marriage was over and falling apart in front of our eyes. We hadn't seen each other for a month, and his mom had just passed. I couldn't believe he wanted to talk about feces.
She was riled, of course, and I went upstairs. When I came back downstairs, she was on the phone with I.O. Tillet Wright, and they were making a wonderful point of just how funny it was that I thought that some human being had actually dropped a grumpy, pardon the term, onto the bed, and they were yucking it up. They were laughing about the whole thing, and it was you know, it was a tough couple of days. I went over and I said, let me talk to her. I grabbed the phone and I said to Io, you can have her now. She's yours. She's all yours. And then I took the phone, I flopped it onto the couch, and I was walking towards the exit, and then suddenly Rocky Pennington ran in to the penthouse. Leave her alone, Johnny. Leave her alone. I was by the refrigerator at this point. I was 20 feet away.
Where was Miss Heard at that time?
She was still sitting on the couch.
What's the first thing you remember, Miss Pennington, when you entered the penthouse?
Just hearing them. I don't remember what they were saying, but it was verbal argument.
Do you know where Mr. Depp was standing?
Yes.
Where was he?
Sort of like the entry, like the in-between from the kitchen to the living room.
And where was Miss Heard?
On the other side of the living room.
Did you see Mr. Depp touch Miss Heard?
I didn't see him touch her.
With that, Pixa just pulls his arm back with the phone and throws it at my face. Hit me right in my, it felt like my eye.
Felt like. I always found that to be one of the most fascinating statements by a convicted liar, because that's all she is like to me anymore. He threw a phone. Can you imagine this object? And this is a smaller one. This is a smaller phone. Can you imagine this thing being hurled at your face? Hits you. The amount of pain you're going to feel from this object being hurled at you at full speed, hitting you in the face, you are going, maybe it might even fracture the bone, the amount of sheer force that this thing had, unless you just kind of like lazily chucked it and just does one of these, I guess. It would still leave a mark. How can you not fucking remember where it hit you? I still remember when I was 7 and I was jumping around on the bed, and I have a scar right here. I think it's like right here or right here, somewhere around here. I don't know. I think maybe right there. You can probably see it on camera a little bit. I was like 7 years old jumping up and down on the bed, and I hurt myself, and I still remember that. And that was like almost 30 years ago. This was just a few years, 5-6 years ago when that happened. And she's like, well, it felt like my eye. Like, I don't know. I wasn't really there. I was, unless you were like heavily intoxicated and like on so many drugs, your memory has been completely wiped. And there's no evidence that she was under the influence of any drugs that evening or that afternoon. I mean, it felt like my eye. No, that's a lie, because you would remember the sheer amount of force that a phone comes out. I mean, you would have a bruise. You would probably have it investigated. You would have photos. You would immediately be like, oh my God, we have evidence of abuse. We have evidence of abuse. Fucking take photos. No, we don't need photos of this. Like, if she took photos of everything else of her, what looks like her Botox black circles, which she claims were when he hit her or where he hit her, which was all complete bullshit. I mean, it's just, it felt like my eye. That statement always got me.
Said you hit me with the phone. Johnny, you hit me.
If you're fucking throwing punches,
I'm not talking about throwing punches. I'm talking about an argument.
right? In arguments, you tend to throw punches.
I'm talking about arguments. I'm not talking about the times when it's got physical. I'm talking about arguments. I'm talking about arguments. I'm talking about arguments.
Yes, in our argument.
Earlier and earlier and earlier. Now you split. You take off right away. You don't deal with the issue. You don't deal with the confrontation, and you split.
Gesture around my face to try to expose my face to him, and he was like, "Yeah, let me see how bad I hurt you. Let me see it. Let me see how bad I hurt you this time. What if I pull your hair back? What if I pull your hair back?" And I just remember this mocking taunt he was doing with me as he is yanking me around the room. And then I hear my friend come into the room. I hear her. Johnny moved towards her, and she ran towards me. Johnny looked at her, looked at me. I retreated to the only place I had to go, which is the corner of the room where the couch was. I retreated kind of to the couch, and Raquel and Johnny both ran up to me. Raquel got in front of Johnny. She kind of managed to get right in front of him, in between he and I, put both of her arms, her hands up like this, and like I've seen people do with horses. That's what it reminded me of. She just went, "No, no, Johnny, no." And she just got in front of us, in between us, put both of her palms out. Johnny kind of squared off to her and ran into her. He hit both of her arms off of his chest like that and barreled towards me.
Did you ever witness Mr. Depp throw anything at Miss Heard?
No.
Did you ever witness Miss kick Miss Heard?
No.
Did you ever see Mr. Depp physically injure Miss Heard, cause her an injury?
I didn't see it.
At some point, Mr. Depp's security team came in. Is that correct?
Correct.
And that was Jerry Judge and Sean Beth?
Yes.
Once Mr. Judge and I rounded that corner and she saw both Jerry and I, she had this look of surprise on her face, and then she looked at Mr. Depp.
Yeah, because she wasn't expected to get caught in a lie. She was hoping she would skate by it. And she was like, oh shit, his bodyguards are here.
And she shouted out loud, "This is the last time you do this to me." At which point Mr. Depp looked at her and said, "What the hell are you talking about?" At that point, Mr. Judge tapped Mr. Depp on the arm and told him, "Boss, let's leave."
She's still got Io on the phone. She's got Rocky there. "Stop hitting me, Johnny," she's screaming in her best freaked out, upset voice, high pitched. "Stop hitting me, stop hitting me." Jerry Judge and Sean Bett entered the room, and as they entered the room, she was quite surprised to see them. She said, "That's the last time you'll ever hit me. That's the last time you'll ever do that to me." And again, I'm a good 20 feet away by the fridge. And then Jerry said, "Boss, I think we should just leave." And then we left. That was the last time I saw Miss Heard.
What else happened when you first met with your brother on the morning of the 21st when you were talking about going to the funeral home?
He had gone down to the Penthouse to pick up some of his stuff because he was going to be leaving, to go on tour.
Did you meet with them at his Sweetser house or at the ECB?
No, I went to the Sweetser house. I went to go see if he was going to go with us. I got there. He was upset because they were fighting. I got upset.
Why were you upset?
We had just lost our mom the day before. So I feel like that.
That look, oh my God, look at that look that she's giving her. Now, if looks could kill, folks. By the way, thank you, Abby UK and Linda Thatcher. Thank you for joining on as members. If looks could kill, that's it right there, folks. That's it right there.
Might be the need for a little compassion, no fighting on that day.
Later that day, 2 police
A
units.
little compassion. A little compassion, maybe. Maybe a little compassion from you, woman. Nope, no compassion. You suffer on my terms, says Amber to Johnny. If I want to hurt you and your feelings, I don't care. Your mom dies, your entire bodyguard troop gets wiped out in a massacre. If it's my birthday, we're gonna go celebrate my birthday. If it's a party I want to go to, we're gonna go celebrate my party. Amber is no fucks given.
Show up to the penthouse at different times. They were called by Amber's friend, I.O. Tillet Wright, who was in New York.
Io said something to me on speakerphone, reminded me I wasn't safe. Io said, Amber, get out of the house. Get out of the house now. You're not safe. Get out of that house.
Here, the officers are checking in on the friends and Amber, who were gathered at one of Johnny's penthouses.
One of you guys know someone in New York or something? Yeah, she probably called us. Okay. Well, whoever it is, I'm just about, you just gotta check on them, make sure they're all there. I'll go get the business card from the cops. Yeah, I don't know, just because we got another call and we came again, we still gotta make sure. You know what I'm saying? We'll just come in and just check. We just need to make sure everybody in here is okay, and then we. I don't know if she called Wes or whoever called, but we just got another notification. So we just need to come in and make sure that everybody's okay. They're all good.
The other officers came by and checked the plane and he had the plane.
Yeah.
It must have been like a double call.
So you had referred to your brothers having plans to go on tour that next week, obviously not knowing that his mother was going to pass.
Right.
What other formal events had been planned for that next week?
We had the premiere for Alice. Mom passed on Friday, and the premiere was Monday night.
Smile, Johnny. There's a smile. Smile.
Johnny, right there. You have a smile right there, Johnny. You have a smile. All right. You have a smile. All the way right.
The officers who testified from both units confirm not seeing any of the facial bruises that will appear on Amber a week later when she goes to court.
So in the hall, you met with a generic white male, Miss Heard, and the generic white male girlfriend. Is that right?
Definitely.
And it was just those 3 folks?
Correct.
And you were there with your partner, Officer Haddon?
Correct.
In the hallway, how far were you standing from Miss Heard?
It was close, probably 2 to 5 feet.
And at that time, did you notice any injuries on Miss Heard?
I did not.
Were you looking to see if she had any injuries at that time?
Yes, I was.
During your investigation, you had other reasons to believe what was true.
That it was a verbal dispute. After discussing the investigation with my partner at the scene, Ms. Heard refused any medical treatment and had no visible injuries. There was no sign of struggle.
There it is. No visible injuries, no sign of struggle.
And Officer Gatlin from the 2nd police unit that visited the penthouse that day also confirms.
I believe the female that was sitting in the middle of the 3 told us that everything was fine and that the other officers had already conducted an investigation on the incident prior to our arrival. And at the time, we did not observe any visible or verifiable injuries to her.
Immediately after the premiere, he had to get on a plane to go to New York to meet the band and go on to Europe.
While Johnny is away preparing for his tour, Amber's lawyers send a letter to Johnny's lawyers.
You know, we throw around a lot of words, a lot of accusations, a lot of verified truths. We call people assholes, we call them douchebags, we call them idiots, we call them doo-doo heads if you're between the ages of 7 and 12. But I think KDD, I'm highlighting your comment because, you know, it used to be that you just would say something about a man or a woman, and you'd say, that is a person with no honor, you know, or something like that. Like, what happened to those days when you would just, the biggest insult you would say is like, I don't ever want to speak to you again as long as I live, you know? There's just a lot of people without honor that just don't get called out enough. And it's very interesting. I'm highlighting your comment because KDD, to me, that is like one of the worst insults that you can give to someone that who has integrity. And I don't know you from Adam or Eve, KDD. So I assume, you know, everybody I meet for the first time, I assume they have integrity, honor, and are ethical humans. And so, you know, I respect your opinion as a viewer. Plus, you have a very nice photo as well. And so, when you call Amber, when you say Amber is a bad human, it resonates with me more than any other statement that anyone has ever put out there. And the reason for that is it just encapsulates the entirety of her character over the last decade. Amber is just a bad human. That is, I think, one of the worst insults you can possibly, and it's true. It's not, you're not insulting her just to be insulting. You're telling the truth. You're speaking how you feel. And to call her a bad human is just like on a spectrum, is just, it's perfect because it encapsulates her entire existence as a human being on this planet. Because at the end of the day, we're all humans. It doesn't matter if you're a male transitioning to a female transitioning to a man. It doesn't matter if you are born a hermaphrodite or a biological man or a biological woman. We're all human, you know, until one day, I mean, I know there's a couple out there who's like, I'm a lizard, and they have like the split tongue and they're doing the tattoos and they're turning themselves into a lizard. But you know what? No matter how many tattoos you get on your face and how you mutilate and modify your existence and call yourself a different species, you're still a Homo sapien. And when you call someone a bad human, I mean, to me, there's no greater insult. There's no greater insult to an individual. And that's why I'm spending like 10 minutes talking about it, because it's powerful. It's very, very powerful. Simple, elegant, direct, and it encapsulates Amber from A to Z. She's just a bad human. She's just a bad human being. No need for name calling, no need for cursey words, no need for swear words, no need for yelling. Just simply look at the camera and say, Amber Heard, you are a bad human being. And everybody kind of looks at you and goes, I'm having trouble disagreeing with that statement.
Asking for $125,000, 3 luxury penthouses for Amber, including one that was occupied by Josh Drew and Rocky Pennington, a special edition Range Rover that was owned by Johnny. In addition to that, They ask for spousal support estimated at $50,000 per month after only 15 months of marriage. Johnny was given the deadline of May 27th. The letter seems to include a veiled extortion threat. It partially reads, Johnny Depp violently attacked and threatened Amber on May 21st in the Penthouse. It claims that there are several witnesses, photographs of physical injuries on Amber, and continues to say Amber is afraid of Johnny and that she strongly insists on doing everything possible to keep this a personal matter out of the media spotlight, which is why she has not yet sought a domestic violence temporary restraining order. In it, Amber expresses the need for a quick, private, and amicable resolution and Johnny's immediate cooperation. The plot certainly thickens here, and questions ask themselves. Is this about safety or getting rich?
Everything's been a defensive move because I'm being called a liar and a gold digger. And I'm not lying about any of this, and I am not after a dime of your money.
Why would someone who is supposedly in fear of someone ask them for obscene amount of money and wealth in order not to advertise going to court to
Exactly.
allege abuse? How does that solve the fear issue? And
Yep.
most importantly, why keeping it private or publicizing it was an integral component of the letter? The answers to that might be embedded in what happens afterwards. As Amber is waiting for the answer to the letter, for 2 days, she bombards Johnny with unanswered text messages, apologizing and begging him to answer, promising that she'd be calm if he talks to her. Amber came off as an impatient person waiting to hear the status of her demands. And in the last paragraph, she appears to gaslight Johnny about the deadline and her need for quick cooperation, saying, we can take as long or as quick as we want and do this or undo this as we see fit. The extortion letter describes Amber as afraid of Johnny, but in her series of texts, she says she's willing to undo everything. All of this is taking place while Johnny's thousands of miles away.
We were rehearsing in New York, and then we played one show in New York as a warm-up gig, and then we started the shows in Europe. I was on the road from then, which was May, through July, August or something.
At one point in the process, when Amber was able to get Johnny to talk on the phone, there is this piece of bombshell recording where Amber seems to inadvertently reveal that she made up the accusations. She reveals that she was afraid his lawyer, Laura Wasser, would evict her and her friends from the penthouses.
Laura Wasser had proposed that I leave, not proposed, I'm sorry, said I would have to leave. I'd be kicked out, be evicted. So Rock and Josh and everybody evicted within 21 days.
Last time we spoke, I told you that you were fine. You stay there 2, 3, 4 months, whatever. Just figure it out. We'll figure it out. Be in your home.
21 days.
Be in your home.
No, I thought that too. And no, they told me 21 days. That is part of why this is the disconnect. This is the thing. Like, that's why I clicked, yes, seeking spousal support, because that's the only way I didn't waive the right to stay in my home. Every step I've had to make, but my hand is forced in it by really up aggressive moves made on your team's behalf. And now I've got to prove myself every step of the way, and it only hurts you.
During this call, Johnny can be heard trying to dissuade Amber from dragging him in public, saying that her tactics to achieve what she's after would hurt both of them, not just him.
Continuing through court is going to end up nothing but bad for you and for me. In any case, no matter whether we ruin each other or not, it's going to be heartbreaking. It's terrible. My boy has to go to school. My boy goes to school and has kids go, so your dad's a wife beater? You don't think about that, Amber.
In the full audio, Amber would proceed to gaslight Johnny about the steps she took and the letter her lawyer sent to his on her behalf, demanding the houses, money, and the Range Rover, saying that the only reason she did it is because she was pushed by his lawyers to do that and that she doesn't want a dime of his money.
everything's been a defensive move because I'm being called a liar and a gold digger. And I'm not lying about any of this. And I am not after a dime of your money.
Despite demanding luxury houses, obscene amounts of money, and a Range Rover edition that's estimated at over $150,000, Amber insists that she's not after Johnny's money. When all fails, and Johnny tells her that he's the actual victim, she dares him to go to court and see if he's going to be believed because he's a man who's bigger and stronger.
I can stick a finger, man. Come on. A mineral can of mineral spirits thrown at my nose.
You can please tell people that it was a fair fight and see what the jury and judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence, and yes. I know it's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you.
It doesn't matter if
Oh, that's right. This is the biggest smoking gun in the entire case, folks, right here. This is what Amber schemed from the beginning. She was like, only women can be victims of domestic violence. Only women can be abused by men in her mind. Only women will be believed when they go out in public. She was so narcissistic and twisted in her belief that no man on this planet will ever be believed. She was not even afraid to say it to him over the phone in a recording that, thank God, was recorded. If there was ever one statement that crucified her, was this statement on your screen right now. Tell them, Johnny Depp, that, quote, I, Johnny Depp, these are her words, right here, you just heard them. I, Johnny Depp, a man, I am a victim too of domestic violence, because men, in her mind, they can't be victims of domestic violence. And see how many people believe you and how many people side with you, which basically Amber insinuating it's going to be 0. And I'm going to win with flying colors because I'm a woman. I'm going to win because I have a vagina. Wow. Wow.
Exactly, because you're bigger and you're stronger. And so when I say...
During this call, Amber paints a grim picture of what it would be like in court for him.
It would be eyewitness statements. It would be evidence, tons of it, and it would be through years.
Then, in a strange tactic that seems to be designed to scare Johnny into paying up, Amber tells him that no one is going to believe that the selfies she takes with marks on her face are from participating in a secret fight club or from using movie industry makeup.
And it would be unbelievable to imagine that either I'm in A, secret fight club, or B, I've had
a secret what?
I've had a secret fight club, or that I have been plotting to do this for 3 years, and while taking pictures of it and documenting it, just saving it up for the right time when I'm not asking for any money and have nothing financial to gain from it. But no one is going to
blackmail.
No one is going to believe that one of the two alternatives, either I'm in a fight club, or I've been going through hair and makeup, or going through makeup through all these years where I have cooperating.
Blackmail.
She tells him that no one is going to believe that she's been plotting that for years, and that she has texts.
Tell me, how is that
between
not
her
fucking
and
blackmail?
Friends and family that prove he is the cause of those marks. Amber is partially correct. The strange Fight Club argument wasn't used to defend Johnny from her allegations. But the authenticity of the marks in the selfies rightfully comes into question in the trial, especially because those alleged bruises seem to appear and disappear at Amber's convenience, with major discrepancies according to the timeline and witnesses, including the multiple police officers who did that welfare check on her on May 21st when Io called them from New York.
Yep.
And you know what, Amber? This is me. This is me saying, I tried. And thank you, and I will see you in court. You don't want to make nice? I'm trying. But you know what? I loved you for so many years, but you know what? You didn't exist. You don't exist. You're not there. You're not there. You were a made up thing in my head. And I can't believe you're doing this to me.
I feel him.
Then comes the letter deadline, May 27th. The letter demands have not been fulfilled by Johnny or his lawyers. After not seeing Johnny for 6 days, while he is in Europe on a months-long music tour, Amber shows up to court with bruises on her face, accompanied by her publicist, lawyers, and Rocky Pennington to get a no-notice emergency temporary domestic violence restraining order against Johnny, ordering him to stay 100 yards from her despite him being thousands of miles away.
Hey, Amber. Hey, Amber, did Johnny give you that bruise on your face? Did Johnny beat you up?
Stop.
Did Johnny brutalize you?
Stop. You guys, you showed a lot of courage.
Are you okay, Amber? You look upset. How you doing? You're going the wrong way.
Get her through. Amber, how are you feeling?
Amber, are you going to the doctor? Are you okay? Are you going to go to the hospital, Amber? I'm down. Best of luck, Amber. Good job, Amber.
The media attention would mainly focus on the marks that seemed to appear on Amber's face 6 days after she saw Johnny, but they failed to mention her choice in clothing. Amber showed up in a black, loose dress, as if to say she quickly threw something on and ran out of the house to the safety of the court. In the majority of her paparazzi photos, Amber goes for a hip, youthful look. But during this day, she looked as if she was dressed by a movie costume designer to play an innocent, traditional housewife who is fed up with being battered.
What was your team of paparazzi supposed to do while they were at the Los Angeles courthouse on May 27th, 2016?
Their objective was to capture her leaving the courthouse, and then she was going to sort of stop and turn towards the camera to display the bruise on the right side of her face, the alleged bruise.
Morgan Tremaine, a former supervisor
Hey,
at the
Morgan.
tabloid news site TMZ, reveals that he dispatched the paparazzi
Love you, bro.
to the court that day after receiving a tip ahead of time. The tip includes that Amber would pose for them to capture the side of her face that shows the alleged bruise.
What was the first time you recall working on
Because
this?
that's what victims do. Victims who have truly been hurt by a man, they pose, and to show the damage. Get the fuck out of here.
assignment related to Ms. Heard?
I believe it was May 27th, 2016. Ms. Heard was filing a restraining order at a courthouse in downtown Los Angeles. So I dispatched camera people to that location.
Under what circumstances would you normally send paparazzi to a courthouse?
Only if we had been informed prior. It's not by any means a celebrity hotspot. We would only ever send people there if we had been tipped off that something was occurring and there was somebody present there.
And what footage was TMZ trying to capture at the LA courthouse on May 27th, 2016?
We were trying to capture Amber leaving the courthouse and an alleged bruise on the right side of her face.
What was your team of paparazzi supposed to do while they were at the Los Angeles courthouse on May 27th, 2016?
Their objective was to capture her leaving the courthouse, and then she was going to sort of stop and turn towards the camera to display the bruise on the right side of her face, the alleged bruise.
To discredit Morgan Tremaine, Amber's lawyer Elaine Bredenhoff's main retort was to say that he...
Oh, and there I am. Oh, the famous Morgan Tremaine day that will live in infamy. May 25th, 2022. It was a Wednesday. Yeah, May 25th, 5/25/22. I lost my shit.
He's seeking his 15 minutes of fame.
You know this case is being televised, right?
I am aware that there are cameras.
And so this gets you your 15 minutes of fame, doesn't
Objection, Your Honor. Argumentative.
I can ask that question. Oh, ruled.
So I stand to gain nothing from this. I'm actually putting myself kind of in a target of TMZ, a very litigious organization, and I'm not seeking any 15 minutes here. though you're welcome to speculate. I could say the same thing by taking Amber Heard as a client for you.
The O-face seen around the world. The shocked faces. Everybody had the same face. Look at that smirk. Look at that. Look at those faces. Everybody in the room was, even what's his name is over there. Even she's smiling. She's on Amber's team. And even she's laughing. Only her assistant tried to maintain as stoic a face as possible. Oh my god.
These videos demonstrate that other news organizations may have been tipped off as well to go to court early in the morning, a location celebrities don't normally frequent.
He saw that she had gone to some court and there were paparazzi everywhere and her and a brown mark on her face.
This media frenzy would brand Johnny as a domestic abuser worldwide 1 week after his mother died. This day of May 27th was also the 17th birthday of Johnny's daughter Lily Rose and the release date of a $170 million Disney production of Alice Through the Looking Glass, in which Johnny is the main lead.
The 27th of May, which in fact my daughter's birthday, also happened to be the day that Alice in Wonderland 2 Through the Looking Glass was opening, and that's the day that she chose to go to the courthouse and get
Hello, everybody.
A temporary restraining order against me.
Welcome. Hope you
But
enjoy
I was
this.
in Europe already at that point.
Were these two major events in Johnny's life factored in as the reason why?
Don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any time we go live, which will be in a couple hours. Again, we're doing What the Hell's is reading of the complaints and responses from John and Lynette, by the way. And if you have questions, feel free to super chat. Or if you want to join in as a member, we have memberships as low as 99 cents a month.
Why May 27th was given as the deadline to satisfy the lofty demands of the letter? Was ruining May 27th for Johnny Amber's way of punishing him? Or was it all a mere coincidence?
The timing of this, it made me sick, actually. It really made me feel ill. It made me sad, frustrated. I don't.
Did Johnny attend the restraining order hearing?
No, he was not in town. He wasn't in the country.
The emergency restraining order by Amber is ex parte, meaning it is temporary in nature and it is done without providing the other party, Johnny in this case, with the opportunity to oppose. It stipulates that Johnny must stay 100 yards away from Amber, but he's halfway across the world on a months-long music tour. Why wait 6 days after seeing the alleged abuser to file the restraining order? If it was in fact urgent, why didn't Amber inform the two groups of police officers that Io sent to the penthouses on May 21st, the day she saw Johnny last? And who tipped off the sea of paparazzi that showed up to court that day? Amber claims she never tipped off TMZ.
Bullshit.
But she seems to slip up during a deposition about having alerted TMZ
Oh,
about the
yeah.
divorce filing.
Oh, watch this.
Basically, I didn't want him to find out online that I had or was about to file, or I had already filed for divorce. I wanted him to know verbally. So I was trying to reach him through a third party to tell him. When I say reach, I'm specifically saying I would like him to know information coming from me or coming from Jerry, from me, so that he finds out about the divorce filing or my intention to do so from some other source other than TMZ, which was alerted.
Oopsies.
From some other source other than TMZ, which was alerted.
Oopsies.
Slipped up there, didn't you, Miss Heard? You let it slip out that TMZ had been alerted to your filing of the domestic violence restraining order, didn't you?
I disagree. That's not what I'm talking about.
So TMZ was just lucky in getting the inside scoop to your divorce from Mr. Depp, huh?
I have no idea. That's not my area of expertise. I wouldn't even know how to do that. And also, what does that get me? If I wanted to leak things about Johnny, I could have done that in a much more successful way, in a bigger way, for years.
Now,
and
when you
years.
were extorting him for $7 million.
I got a fraction of what I was entitled to in the state of California, by the way.
In the trial, Amber would completely deny that she even knows how to alert the media of her moves. And in the same breath, she says she could have done it in a more successful way. Evidence suggests that Amber was trying to advertise May 27th. She even showed up to court accompanied with her publicist, Jody Gottlieb, whose job is to create narratives by communicating with media outlets.
You knew the press would be at the courthouse, right, Ms. Hurd?
No.
Well, you did bring your publicist to the courthouse with you on May 27th, 2016, didn't you?
I sure did. I'm a public figure. I brought my publicist in case it blew up. In case.
You actually
I'm
had
glad I did.
alerted TMZ that you would be filing a TRO against Mr. Depp that very
No,
day,
I did
didn't
not.
you?
No, I did
The
not.
one day you didn't bother to wear makeup to cover up the mark on your face. And you heard Mr. Tremaine's testimony that he knew to dispatch the paparazzi to the courthouse on May 27th, right?
I heard him say that he knew that, yes.
Yeah, and that he dispatched paparazzi to the courthouse to capture a picture of an alleged bruise on the right side of your face. Do you remember him saying that?
I remember him saying that.
That information must have come from your team, right, Ms. Hurd?
Absolutely not. Why would I want that? What actual survivor of domestic violence wants that?
When cross-examined
When you're
about
not.
a video she secretly
When you're
taped of
not.
Johnny that was sent to TMZ, Amber would contradict herself once again about leaking information to the media.
His testimony was, I'm sorry.
You heard Mr. Tremaine testify that the cabinet video was posted 15 minutes after TMZ received it. Yes?
That's what I heard him say.
And that this could only have been possible if the video was received directly from the source. Yes?
I heard him say that. I don't know if that's true or if that's possible because
And
it
you
didn't come
heard
from me. I was
Mr.
flying.
Tremaine
So
testify.
I know that's incorrect is what I mean to say.
Another liar on the stand.
I just know that that's incorrect.
Right. And you heard Mr. Tremaine testify that TMZ owns the copyright to the cabinet video, right?
That's news to me.
The cabinet video you filmed of your then husband.
The copyright ownership of that is news to me. I learned that yesterday.
Oh,
It's the cabinet
whatever.
video that you captured of your then husband. Yes?
That is correct.
Can't
I did
listen.
capture that video.
Makes me
And
sick.
yes,
Cabinet
that was my
video.
husband.
The same cabinet video that was released the night before you were deposed
Ugh.
in your divorce. Yes?
That's correct.
You must have also heard Mr. Tremaine testify that the version of the cabinet video that TMZ received was incomplete compared to the video the jury saw in this trial.
The video that that you have seen is complete.
Right. But the one TMZ got the day before your deposition in the divorce was incomplete.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
He testified that at the beginning portion of the video where you set up the camera, that wasn't included in the video that TMZ received.
I don't know what video TMZ
I'm talking
received.
about Mr. Tremaine's testimony, Ms. Hurd. Let's just
So you're
focus on
asking me to
Mr.
repeat
Tremaine.
his testimony?
No, I'm asking you if you recall hearing him say those words to this jury.
Yes,
Under
I
oath.
heard his testimony. We all did.
And he testified that the end of the video where you can be seen smirking. I know you testified earlier that you haven't been smirking in this trial, but you sure were caught on camera smirking in that video.
I disagree with that.
Was also not
But we
included
all
in
saw it. How
Everyone
can you
watch that
disagree with a
video and you can
fact?
determine whether you think it's funny to me or not.
That's because the video came from you.
No, it did not.
You
That
edited
video
out
did
the
not come to
portions.
me.
You edited out the portions that made you look bad before sending it to TMZ.
Yep.
You're very wrong about that.
So
If
that
I
only
wanted to
Mr.
leak
Depp
information, I
looked
could have
bad.
done it in a more effective way, a lot sooner and a lot more.
Because you
I
knew
was
exactly
living
how to
with
do
a
that,
mountain
right?
of this evidence. If I wanted to leak it, I could have done a lot more with it.
But
Mountains
you
of
testified
evidence.
earlier
I love
in this
how
trial that
she keeps alluding to this mountain of evidence. If there really was a mountain and she was alleging that the court did not allow it to come in as evidence, well, then leak it to the public. Hello? Anyone? Is anyone like awake? Is anyone listening? Remember, one of her allegations during the trial was, well, the court did not allow all this mountain of evidence, to come in. Okay, well then leak it to the public. Show us. Show the public. Fuck the courts. The case is over. Where's this mountain? It's been 2 years. It's been 2 years, Amber. Where's this mountain of evidence? You don't owe the courts anything. Case is over. Case has been over for like over a year. Just leak it to the public. You got nothing to lose. It's all over. Nope. You're hiding in Spain. Because we all know there is no mountain. There's not even so much as a molehill, so much as an anthill. Because if there was, a woman like you would have leaked it by now. We all know that. You have no scruples. You have no shame. As Katie D said it, I think it was Katie D, you are a bad human being. Enough said.
But you didn't know how to leak things.
I don't.
You edited that video before you gave it to TMZ so that only Mr. Depp would look bad. Yes?
That's absurd.
Right in the middle of your divorce proceedings.
Hi, baby.
The best indicator of what the anonymous jury was thinking at this moment may be deduced from the skeptical faces of the people in the gallery. The timeline of Amber's moves proved to be a major hurdle in court for her. On the 21st of May, Amber took this selfie, which she claims are two different selfies, after Johnny allegedly assaulted her and left for New York. The rest of the week, witnesses that include Amber's neighbors, workers in the building, and the police that showed up on the 21st when Amber says she got the bruises from Johnny, all said they didn't see any bruise on her face. When Amber was asked in the trial to recall these officers' testimonies about May 21st, she attempted to create confusion by changing their words and what they testified to.
And you heard Officer Sines testify that she did not see any injuries on you that night, correct?
I heard her testify she did not consider this injured.
No. Miss Officer Sines testified that she met with you and she did not see any injuries on your face. Isn't that correct?
She did not consider this injury.
In the hallway, how far were you standing from Ms. Heard?
It was close, probably 2 to 5 feet.
Did you notice any injuries on Ms. Heard?
I did not.
Were you looking to see if she had any injuries at that time?
Yes, I was.
You sat in this courtroom while Officer Sines testified that she saw you the night of May 21, 2016, face to face, and didn't see any injuries on your face. Isn't that correct, Ms. Heard?
I believe she was testifying about these photographs, and she said that I was not injured in them.
Is it your testimony under oath now that Officer Sines testified that she saw injuries on you when she saw you in person on May 21?
Sorry, let me clarify. I was testifying that I know that that's what Officer Sines said, that she didn't consider my red puffy face injured. That's what she said.
Red
It's
puffy.
inconvenient for you that Officer Sines didn't see injuries on you on May 21, 2016.
It doesn't matter what's convenient for me.
Right. Officer Tyler Haddon also testified by deposition about being called to the Eastern Columbia building on May 21, 2016. And he also testified no injuries on your face on May 21, 2016. Isn't that correct?
They both said that they did not consider me injured.
Ms. Heard refused any medical treatment and had no visible injuries. There was no sign of struggle.
They did not see injuries on your face on May 21, 2016. Isn't that what their testimony was?
What their testimony was is that they did not consider what my face looked like to be injury.
We did not observe any visible or verifiable injuries to her.
This is the same pattern that's recognized in the audios where she questions Johnny's memory, telling him he's delusional. What he saw happened is not really what happened, or what he heard is not actually what he heard, and that it's all in his mind.
You are accurate. No, your memory's accurate. Your memory's accurate. You got it now. Your memory's perfectly accurate. You're a fucking stand-up man.
Hey,
You
let's
fucking
just
no. Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay. You know what? You're probably right. Your memory, Johnny, is probably spot on and perfect, comparable to mine.
Because she would deny having said those things. What are you talking about? You know, it was surreal.
What are you fucking talking about? I didn't fucking even have a fucking thing to lie about. What are you fucking talking about? Every fucking fight, there's a new thing that you've convinced yourself is a lie.
I said to you, Amber, tell Travis what you just did. Did you just fucking, did you punch me in the fucking jaw? Did you fucking kick? Did you? And you wouldn't say fucking, I don't know what you're talking about. I never fucking.
The most nefarious example of this confusion tactic Amber seems to employ with Johnny, and in the trial, is when she was getting into the semantics of the difference between punching versus hitting to explain away assaulting him.
I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. I was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You know, you've been a lot of fights, been around a long time. I know. Yeah,
Oh, when you fucking have a close.
You didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you.
How can you determine whether or not you actually hurt him? The fact that you struck him in the first place is enough. That is already enough. That is complete and utter horseshit that it matters. I didn't deck you. I didn't fucking deck you, Johnny. I was hitting you. I was hitting you. I didn't deck you. You're a man, you can take it kind of deal. You know, like, you, excuse me. You're a guy, you're a man. I'm a woman. I'm smaller than you. Therefore, you should be able to take it. No man should suffer at the hands of a woman. No person should suffer at the hands of any other person. No human should suffer at the hands of any other human, period. Physical or non-physical, period. Why is there a discussion? I didn't deck you, therefore you should be able to take it. Like, what the
She had completely denied things she'd said directly to my face in a heated and volatile way. So I went to her and I said, I'm going to record us because I want you to hear what you've said to me tomorrow.
I'm not sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are.
Oh,
That's the difference between me and you. You're a fucking baby.
Because you start
You
physical
are
fights?
such a baby.
Because
Grow
you-
the fuck up,
Because you start
Johnny.
physical fights?
I did start a physical fight.
Yeah, you did. So I had to get
Because-
the fuck out of there.
Yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what? You're admirable.
Now, Sarah, though, I want to go to you first. You saw Amber on the day she filed for divorce, 2 days after this alleged phone incident. Tell me what you saw.
Correct. I happen to live in the building where Amber Heard was living with Johnny Depp. She currently continues to live. And although I don't like to talk about my neighbors on air, I do make an exception for justice.
Sara Azari, a lawyer who also lived in the Eastern Columbia building, went on Dr. Drew's TV show after Amber showed up to court to discuss the matter that transpired between the 21st and the 27th of May.
In this case, you know, she's had multiple contacts with various people who work in the building, face to face with no makeup on. I know that she did for a fact on Monday, the day she filed for divorce, and on Wednesday, 5 days after the incident, and 2 days before she sought the restraining order, and there were no marks on her face. Well, yeah, and you know, people say, well, why would she make this up? I think it's really clear. She's doing this for leverage in the divorce because in California, she's entitled to collect spousal support for half the length of her marriage. In this case, it's a 15-month marriage. I call it a long date, okay? So when you're talking about
A
8
long
months or
date.
so, give or take, of spousal support, she's trying to stretch this and milk this as much as possible.
How do you know
And if Johnny Depp were to be convicted of domestic violence, the court could actually prolong the period of spousal support. What
How long?
motive
How
do you
long?
need?
How long?
I think it's up to the judge's discretion.
Lisa.
You know, this is the kind of thinking that undermines domestic violence victims from coming forward. To say definitively, as Sarah just did, she's doing this to blackmail him, you don't know. None of us were there.
Lisa,
All I'm
I was
listen,
there. I lived there.
Okay, you lived there with Amber and Johnny. Really, you were behind closed doors with them
No,
during their marriage
but
when they had
I-
arguments?
But I have
Please.
firsthand knowledge. I have firsthand knowledge that the Bruce wasn't there and suddenly appeared, voila, on Friday in time for her hearing.
You know,
Come on.
Now, hold on.
She-
On the right is lawyer Lisa Bloom, who would later work for convicted serial sexual assaulter Harvey Weinstein and reportedly advising him on how to destroy his victims. There is another event that can be verified that May 2016 week between when Amber last saw Johnny and walking into court with the publicist and the media. She was captured late at night sneaking in actor James Franco to Johnny's penthouse on the 22nd of May, a day after she claims Johnny assaulted her. Franco and Amber can be seen here appearing to hide from the elevator cameras late at night. It's revealed that in the following day after the publicized court date, photos of Amber were captured joking and laughing with friends Rocky Pennington and Josh Drew. But in these paparazzi pictures, the facial bruise disappeared.
Poof.
Her choice in clothing
It's magic,
today
folks.
reverted back to the hip look she tries to
Amber
go
is a
for,
magician.
not the look of the traditional wife that's married to a drunkard, abusive factory worker she portrayed in court the day before. Many questions emerge here. Were Rocky and Josh in on it? It came out in court that this couple submitted a statement in support of the restraining order. Were they promised some sort of monetary reward or a penthouse if the demands were met? It's revealed that Amber and Rocky Pennington are no longer friends, and Josh and Rocky are no longer partners. Did Amber cut them off after she later receives the massive settlement?
That sounds like something
This
she
is
would
the
do.
person that burns bridges.
Yep.
Seeing her today, do you still consider Ms. Hurd a friend? I wouldn't consider her not a friend. What does that mean? We don't speak. We are not enemies.
Well, I just told Amber that, you know, I wish her well and I just have no interest in continuing a relationship.
When's the last time you spoke to her? April of last year. April or May.
We didn't speak for about 2 years following my divorce. She reached out to me to make amends. I want to say about 2 months ago, letting me know that, you know, her and Raquel hadn't spoken in some time.
Did she mention anything about this lawsuit?
Not in the initial interaction. I think I waited about a week and a half before I responded, and before I could, I did get a note from her letting me know that she had tried to keep me out of it, but more than likely people were going to be contacting me.
I don't think these people were her friends anymore. Something else that's really important to note here is none of these people saw abuse. Not one.
You may have noticed that no one showed up for Ms. Hurd in this courtroom other than her sister. Every other witness who traveled to Virginia for her was a paid expert. This is a woman who burns bridges. Her clothes.
Yep.
Amber claims to use makeup to hide her bruises. She claims to have makeup in these pictures. Elaine Bredenhoft, Amber's attorney, in her opening statement, held up a specific makeup palette she said Amber used to hide her alleged bruises throughout the relationship up until 2016. The makeup company that makes that palette, Milani Cosmetics, released a video on their official TikTok account detailing that makeup palette wasn't released until December 2017.
Boom!
Now, you also heard them say that all kinds of people saw Amber that week, and she didn't have any bruises on her face. Well, let me show you this. This is what Amber carried in her purse for the entire relationship with Johnny Depp. This was what she used. She became very adept at it. We're going to hear the testimony from Amber about how she had to mix the different colors for the different days of the bruises as they developed in the different coloring, and how she would use these to touch those up to be able to cover those.
All
A month
lies.
Later, more selfies taken by Amber somehow start to find their way to magazine pages. In the trial, Amber would use the makeup excuse when she's confronted with pictures and videos of her. During times she said she had severe injuries to her face, like possible broken nose, swellings, slashes to her lips, forehead, and body. Injuries she claims Johnny gave her using his chunky, ring-filled hands.
You said your nose was swollen, discolored, red.
That is correct.
This is a picture of you and Mr. Depp at the event the night after Mr. Depp allegedly whacked you in the face so hard you thought he had broken your nose.
He did whack me in the face, and I did think it broke my nose.
And this is you the night after.
Yes, it is.
You're Michaeline.
You have no visible injuries to your face, do
Thanks,
you?
Adriana. That's a classic.
Even though Mr. Depp whacked you in the face so hard that your nose bled?
He
Exactly.
did.
While wearing chunky big rings.
That's correct.
I probably had a concussion, and certainly that I had a broken nose. There was blood everywhere. My head was bleeding from the ripped out hair, chunks of hair on the floor, all over the place, actually.
Yes, exactly.
I had 2 black eyes after this incident, right?
I did.
And you testified that you also had a busted lip from when Mr. Depp punched you.
From December, yes, that's correct.
You testified that the lip wound kept reopening when you moved your mouth.
That's correct.
And that you had, quote, gross, pussy, And quote, bruising around your temple.
In my scalp, yeah.
And bruising on your chin.
Correct.
You appeared on the James Corden show the day after this alleged incident, right?
I did.
And that was December 16th, 2015?
Yes,
So she got very uncomfortable.
These are
She moved
pictures
the
of
mic.
you on the James Corden show on December 16th, 2015, right, Ms. Heard?
From that appearance, yes.
With a split lip.
You've seen pictures of it without makeup.
So you had a split lip when you were
sure
moving
did.
your mouth that way.
Absolutely.
The pictures after these alleged violent attacks
Yeah,
and
those
the
rings would have
multiple
done
audios
so much
that are
more.
available contradicted the victim persona Amber painted on the stand.
To prevent him from dragging me into the room, but I couldn't stop him. He dragged me all the way from that carpet. I was trying to get free of his grasp.
Johnny's face in the trial was full of bewilderment while listening to Amber recounting those alleged assaults.
Bottom metal floor that separated it is a big, heavy bank door. And I remember he was dragging me.
Amber hasn't presented any medical treatment of the gruesome injuries she claims Johnny has been inflicting on her over the years, despite having easy access to medical professionals, at times in the same house. The photos of Johnny's injuries and bruises have all been taken by other people, and he has extensive medical records, whereas Amber seems to only have selfies, with the exception of when the paparazzi were alerted to go to court on May 27th.
I'm just happy Johnny walked away from this
With a
alive.
visible mark on her face.
She would have killed
Not
him
wearing makeup that day.
if he stayed just a couple more years longer. She would
Do you
have probably
recognize
killed
these
him.
photographs?
I do,
And how do you recognize them?
because I took them.
She would not
And
let him
why
go.
did you take these photographs?
She would have killed him.
I took them to show proof that he once again had injuries sustained.
And it would be unbelievable to imagine that either I'm in A, a secret fight club, or B, I've had
A secret what?
I've had a secret fight club, or that
Fight
I have
club.
been plotting to do this for 3 years, and while taking pictures of it and documenting it, just saving it up for the right time when I'm not asking for any money and have nothing financial to gain from it.
And hit you in the face so many times that you don't remember.
That's correct.
And there's no injuries to your face in this picture, are there?
Not that this picture shows.
And there's no medical records.
That's true, Aries
reflecting that you sought
37.
treatment after this alleged incident either,
That's correct. I did not seek medical attention.
despite hitting you several times that you lost count with rings on his fingers.
That's correct.
And you testified you felt like your lip went through your teeth and it got a little blood on the wall.
Yes.
There isn't a picture of you with injuries after that alleged incident, is there?
I don't know if I've seen one. I can't recall. There are a lot of pictures.
Some of the pictures Amber claims she took at different times look exactly like the same picture, but with different saturations, like this one from May 21st.
The one on the left has the vanity light, the makeup lights, the more yellow hued ones that go around the mirror on. And then the one on the right looks like it doesn't have those.
Isn't it true you just edited these photographs?
No, I've never edited a photograph.
Didn't you just enhance the saturation from one of these photos to make your face look more red?
No, that's incorrect. I didn't touch it.
Digital forensic expert Brian Neumeister confirms the manipulation in Amber's photos.
Mr. Neumeister, what do we see here in this demonstrative?
They're two separate exhibits, except it's the exact same photograph one's been edited, one hasn't. The colors have been modified in an editor.
Amber also submitted what looks like the exact same picture evidence for two alleged incidents that happened months apart.
Okay. And do you see that you testified that defendant's exhibit 512, which is on the screen?
Yes.
Is a picture of the downstairs of the main apartment.
That's correct.
Number 512 was admitted into evidence in this court. You testified that this was the result of damage that occurred on December 15th, 2015. Yes or no?
I just need to orient myself because I'm just looking at a picture of a partial picture of a
Ms. Heard, you
foot.
didn't just look
No, I
at a
can't.
picture. You looked at your testimony. Do you see that you're testifying that defendant's exhibit 725, which is reflected on the right side, reflects spilled wine on the floor in Penthouse 5?
That's correct.
Okay. And defendant's exhibit 512 and 725 seem to be different versions of the same picture, don't they?
That's correct.
Okay. So which is it? Which one was taken on December 15th, 2015 or May 21st, 2016?
If you remove the redacted metadata, you can find out. It's right there.
Or if you're telling the truth, you would know.
Oh.
believe that.
Oh, look at
No
my
one is
face.
going to believe that
Did you see
one
my
told
face
her
when
that
she
they
said
are
that?
Or
I did the exact. I had the exact
Which
same
is it?
reaction just now as when. Look at my face when she does that, and when you're like, I just went, oh, like I did not even plan this. I swear to God, it's been like 2 years, but I had the exact same reaction as just now as I had in open court. Look at my face.
Which one was taken on December 15th, 2015, or May 21st, 2016?
If you remove the redacted metadata, you can find out. It's right there.
Or if you're telling the truth, you would know.
But no one is going to believe that.
My face just went, oh, because it's exactly, oh man, and there's Vanessa right next to me, and I think Ian to my left.
No one is going to believe that one of the two
Wow.
alternatives, they don't have fight club. Or I've been going through her makeup or going through makeup.
Takes me
And
back.
Here to have cooperating text messages between people that match those dates of those timestamp validated photos.
Eventually, Johnny caved in, and after 15 months of marriage, Amber ended up with a $7 million divorce settlement, which she announced she donated to the Children's Hospital of LA and the ACLU. Amber
I
would
use
then
donate
go on TV
and
bragging
pledge
about having done so.
synonymously.
And then there was a divorce settlement. You got $7 million. People were saying this is all about the money. But then you did something that twisted that whole argument. What did you do with that money?
$7 million in total was donated to, I split it between the ACLU and Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
ACLU is a human rights organization.
Sorry, ACLU is a prominent organization, nonprofit organization in the United States. It's called the American Civil Liberties Union, and they work on behalf of marginalized communities on the ground and in legislative reform.
Right.
And
well, more power to you, because that's something that I've never
I
heard
wanted
of.
nothing.
Liar.
A sweeping number of major publications highlighted and focused on the fact that she donated the money. 6 years later, they still haven't received the $7 million.
And you say this because you, quote, wanted nothing, end quote.
That is correct.
But you hadn't donated your entire $7 million settlement to charity at that point, had you?
That's incorrect.
Sitting here today, Mr.
That's actually a very funny point, Monica Duncan. I did. I gave $15,000 that I made from the selling of the notebook. 100% of that was donated to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, because fuck the ACLU. I support the Institute for Justice. Fuck the ACLU.
You still haven't donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity.
Donated more than Amber.
Incorrect. I pledged the entirety
Pledged.
of the settlement, $7 million to charity, and I intend to fulfill those obligations.
That's not my question. Please.
Listen.
Try to answer my question.
Listen, Ms. Heard.
Sitting
Listen.
here today, you have not donated the $7 million donated, not pledged, donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity.
I use pledge and donation synonymous with one another. They
But I
equal
don't.
something.
Ms. Heard,
I don't.
don't use it synonymously.
That's how donations are paid.
No,
Ms.
that's
Heard,
no.
Respectfully,
Respectfully,
that's
bitch.
not my question.
Pay attention.
As of today,
Bingo.
you have not
See,
paid
by the way,
$3.5 million.
what I love about Camille, I'm sorry to interrupt in such a very heated place, but this is what I love about Camille is she never let her go. She was like, no. Hey, excuse me. Listen to me. That's not my question. As she's like, yap. No. Ms. Heard, that's not my question. My question was, did you or did you not? Just answer the question. And she made her look like such an idiot. Such an idiot.
Of your own money to the ACLU. Yes or no?
I have not yet.
Boom.
And as of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money.
Oh shit!
to
It's
Children's Hospital.
Randos Productions is in the chat. Are you kidding me? No way! What's up, Randos? Oh my god! I love your work. This is incredible stuff. Holy shit! What's up, you all? I never expected to find you in my chat on a Sunday evening. Oh my god. This is incredible. I did the first the first part and the second part and the third part. You guys, go buy this. Go watch this on your own. Seriously. Holy fucking shit. Randos Productions is in my chat. Wow. I'll take it. I hope you guys are doing great. This is the most phenomenal piece of work I have ever seen of any documentary about this trial. By the way, you took the entire trial, you cut the fat, you took the meat, and you made a TLDR version of the Johnny Depp trial. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Like what, 3-4 hours so far, and hopefully soon we'll have part 4. That's just dope that you guys are here. Seriously, I was definitely not expecting that. Yeah, I'm totally fanboying. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for doing this, and keep up the great work. Absolutely stellar. Absolutely stellar. Go subscribe to their channel too. I'm going to go subscribe right now. I didn't know you had a YouTube channel. I'm watching this on Vimeo, where you guys released it. That's just stellar, you guys. Thank you for, popping your heads in.
I have not yet. Johnny sued me.
You had all of the $7 million for 13 months before Mr. Depp sued you, and you chose not to pay it to the charities you pledged it to. Is that correct?
I disagree with your characterization of that.
What Johnny says in his testimony.
Wait, is the link not in the description? The link should be in the description. If the link is not in the description, I'm going to add it now. I'm so sorry, you guys. You have the donation, part 2, part 3. Oh, original. Here we go. Now it's there. Refresh your screens and it will be there.
Confusion tactics appear to manifest itself again in this instance.
The argument would start here, and then it would roll around and become this circular thing of its own. So you get back to the beginning, essentially, of the argument. Now it's heightened even more, but it's still circular, and there's no way in or out.
You testified under oath that, quote, the entirety of your divorce settlement was donated to charity, unquote, didn't you?
That's correct. I pledged the entirety.
No, Ms. Heard, my questions. You testified under oath the entirety of your divorce settlement was donated to charity.
That is correct. I pledged the entirety.
Why are you
threw the cans at me in Australia?
Why are you trying to justify who throws things based on whether or not you come knocking on the door? I don't get why one
fucking
informs the other.
irrational and violent fucking maneuver.
So as of today, you have not donated, paid $7 million of your divorce settlement to charity, right?
I have not been able to fulfill those,
It's on your screen.
those obligations yet.
And that's because you did want something, didn't you?
I didn't want anything and I didn't get anything.
You wanted Mr. Depp's money.
Didn't get it, wasn't interested in it.
Not only did Amber not pay the organizations she said she donated the $7 million to, but she prevented Johnny from directly donating it to them. Ultimately, only Johnny Depp made a sizable donation, and Amber kept the money
100,000
from the settlement to herself.
Do with that privilege what women without that privilege cannot.
Hashtag men
appears to
too.
have a habit of broadcasting an image of benevolence to the world, but in private, she appears to
$7 mil
live the contrary
is in her pocket.
of that image.
You are the most spoiled fucking brat. And you got everybody out here almost full, but it don't last long.
You're right.
I've been here a lot longer
You're
than
right. You got to
Because
figure it out.
You don't have figure out what you have to offer as opposed to going out and get your tits out.
You're right. That's what I do.
In this video she captured for her social media, she appears to wrestle a baby who just received medical care away from reluctant nurses, then proceeds to pose with him for the flashing cameras. disregarding any medical privacy. It's not hard to see the confusion on these parents' faces that their baby is not being handed to them by a medical professional and explaining to them how the care went, but instead by a celebrity repeating in broken Spanish, "Look how beautiful he is."
She's mentally ill.
With Hollywood's sex
Unfortunately.
abuse scandal growing by the day, hundreds rallied today to raise awareness.
In late 2017, the Hollywood
Believe the
version
truth,
of the Me
not
Too movement
women.
picked up huge
Believe
steam,
evidence,
toppling
not women.
powerful men in the media who perpetrated sexual crimes, most notably Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby. It was a time to clean up the entertainment industry. The Me Too movement would then morph into being more about equal pay and opportunities in Hollywood for women.
Hollywood. We are more united as an industry than we have ever been.
I think right now we have the chance to be heard, and that's why we're doing it.
They are back to not nominating women across the board other than Best Actress, right? And if they could nominate men for Best Actress, they would. So yes, the Academy has incredible power, and the more their members vote for women as opposed to just guys who are their drinking buddies, which is really what it is. It's always traditionally been men who are their drinking buddies.
This was a far cry from what Tarana Burke, the creator of the movement, had in mind when she created the Me Too movement in the early 2000s after working with young Black girls and underprivileged victims of sexual violence.
It's bigger than Hollywood.
Way bigger than Hollywood. It's an epidemic. It's a worldwide epidemic.
Again, Amber would seize the opportunity to insert herself in the conversation, speaking about violence against women, because according to her, she has, quote, the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse.
Male-dominated power structure, fearless speech.
On December 15th, 2018, 2 years after she walked into court to get the restraining order against Johnny, the biggest movie Amber has been on to date, Aquaman, is released. And in a move that appears planned to capitalize on the Me Too movement for self-promotion, 3 days after the release of Aquaman, on December 18th, an op-ed she wrote is published in the Washington Post. In it, Amber claims that 2 years prior, she became a representative of domestic abuse. And for the first time, she claims to have been a victim of sexual abuse in a medium such as the Washington Post.
Oh my God, Randos is giving me a shout out. What? You guys are incredible. Your work during the trial was amazing as well, they say. You are featured in part 4. No shit. Really? Okay. Well, now I can't wait for part 4. Thank you, everyone. Consider getting it if you can. If not, enjoy Larry and Tug's live reactions. They do a great job covering it. Wait, when is part 4 coming out? First of all, holy fuck. Thank you. That's incredible. And yes, shout out to that umbrella guy who also was incredible in covering Amber and her lies well before the trial even premiered. This is part 3. Hold on a second. I didn't see part 4. Part 4 is not out yet. Is it? I'm definitely, I'm not just considering getting it. I'm 100% going to get it. I just don't know. I didn't know it was out yet. I thought it was not out yet. I didn't know it was out yet. I thought we only had 3 parts out. Did it just come out? I'm looking. Collections. Yeah, I'm crying, Berto. Oh, it's not. Okay. All right, I'm not crazy. It's not out yet. It's not out yet. Okay, good. All right. You scared me for a minute. I was like, I looked for it everywhere. I couldn't find it. Oh, that is awesome, though. Okay, so it's not out yet. Yeah, absolutely. Let me know. Seriously, like, shoot me an email when it's out. I'll keep an eye out. I'm sure my fans will let me know for sure. Wow. Okay. All right. Do we have a release date? I don't want to like rush you guys or anything, but hey, since you're here, I will ask. You don't have to respond. If you do feel like responding, please feel free to respond. When should we expect part 4 to come out? I know part 3 came out in December. It's been like 3 months. I know you guys have been working very hard, and this kind of work it takes a long time because you have to dig and find information from the trial. No, I'm not telling them to hurry. No, please. If it takes you another year, so be it. I'm not in a hurry. I'm just curious if you have like a release date or approximate release date, like this summer, this fall, this coming winter. Please let us know. We're definitely looking for. I am like super excited now that you're telling me that I'm even featured in it, and as well as that umbrella guy. This is a historic moment, Berto. No kidding. Wow. I will take it. But anyway, okay, here we go. We don't have a set date yet. Sometime in summer is our best guess. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. So cheers. And by the way, speaking of Tug, look what mug I'm drinking out of. Can you all see this? Let's see if I can get my camera to focus on it. It's Tug's Jugs. It's Tug's Jugs. Maybe I can zoom in. Show you guys. Tug's Jugs. I'm drinking tea out of this as I'm still not feeling well. But here we go. I appreciate it, you guys. That is awesome. That is so cool. That is incredible. All right, back to the show. We're almost done. This is a historic moment.
This case appears to be full of curious coincidences. 3 days after the release of Amber's biggest movie, her article came out. And May 27th, 2016, the day she walked into court for the restraining order, was the same day that Johnny's Alice Through the Looking Glass was released. Amber's article is what would prompt Johnny to sue her in 2019 for the defamatory implications that stemmed from that op-ed.
Good man,
In a
Calico.
business where one trades on their image and reputation, movie business analysts during the trial would demonstrate how op-ed hampered Johnny's ability to earn a living, with cautious movie studios rightfully wanting to protect their own reputation by removing liabilities like Harvey Weinstein, especially during the height of the Me Too movement.
Between December 18th, 2018, which is the date that Ms. Heard's op-ed appeared, and October 2020, to what extent, if any, did Mr. Depp perform in any studio films?
Zero. No studio films.
Mr. Jack Wiggum, a talent manager for Johnny, explains how after the op-ed, it was impossible to book him a studio film.
With respect to Johnny, it was catastrophic because it was coming from, a first-person account. It was not from a journalist. It was not from someone observing. It was from someone saying, "This happened to me."
When asked about what he lost because of the sexual assault accusations, Johnny explains.
Nothing
You've got your
short
family,
of
you've got
everything.
your kids, you've got your parents. My mom, thankfully, didn't get to read any of this.
Thank you
That
again,
would kill her.
Randos.
But my father, my family, everyone that I've met, the people that have supported me, suddenly I'm scum. Why? Never had to happen. One little lie.
When it was more than
On
little.
June 1st,
I'm amazed you can call it
2022,
little.
after having deliberated for a few days since the lengthy 6-week trial ended, where a jury in Fairfax, Virginia looked at mountains of evidence, they found that Amber Heard maliciously and knowingly manufactured false claims about her ex-husband of 15 months, Johnny Depp. They punished her by ordering her to pay $5 million in punitive damages and $10 million in compensatory damages from the lost income he would have earned if
Produced by Rando Productions, M. Romby, NM Rando. Executive producers Michael Johnson, Emily Parker, Thomas Roberts, Jessica Lee, David Anderson, Jennifer Turner.
she hadn't defamed him.
Samuel Williams, Susan Ross. Shout out to all of you folks. Jessica Cohen, David White. Shout out to all you all. That's incredible. They were in the frickin' chat. Wow. I feel like a little girl, you know, going to see like Taylor Swift for the first time. It's like, oh my God! Rando Productions are in my chat! Ah! Wow. Seriously, what an honor. Honestly, truly, sincerely. Thank you guys. Don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Go subscribe to Randos. This is their channel, by the way. Right here, I'll present it on screen. They deserve. Now, again, the video on Vimeo you can buy. This is not on their channel. They have 26 videos. They're a fairly new channel. They have 2,000 subscribers. But I think that they have, you can buy it on Amazon Prime. You can buy it on Vimeo. It's a really, 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 really good documentary. Like, and I'm not just saying that because they're in my chat. I've already said it before. It's so well done, so well researched. A wise legend once said, "Never fear the truth." I mean, that's just, we know who they're talking about. Let's get them to 2,000. Can we get them to 2,000 subs live? We only need like 60 more people. There's like 1,600 of you here. Go do me a favor. If not for them, do this for me. Go subscribe. Let's get them to at least 2,000. Come on, there's 50 more of you. Here's the link. Right here. Here's the link. All we need is 30 more. Come on, we can do this. Come on, folks. Probably like 25 more people. 10 more, 5 more. 2,000. There we go. We got them like 500 subscribers today. This is incredible. Thank you, Barbarian Barbie, for joining on as a member, as well as Katie Powers for joining on as a member to the channel. Gloria Geiger says, how can any lawyer worth anything defend her? It's a good question, but I mean, everybody deserves a defense. It just, I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy to be Amber's lawyer just because her case is so bad. Subi Sue says, this is for kitty treats. Did you hear that, Zinnia? Huh, baby? She's sitting under the table, just resting right now. She's just chilling. Thanks, Larry, for all you do. Much love to Johnny Depp also. Thank you so much. Snuggle Struggle says, earlier you mentioned honor. A good example of honorless behavior is the news industry. Ain't that the truth? We're no longer informed news, just programming, nefarious propaganda because they're bought and paid for. Exactly. All journalist careers relied upon reputation, but no longer. Your Tamagotchi died. Do you guys remember Tamagotchis? I remember my Tamagotchi. I always liked the dinosaur. And I hated when like I would just neglect it because I was a kid. I was like 10. And I would not feed it for like a day, and then they would just like die, and you have to start over again. It was very annoying. Dude, Lisa Bloom is Gloria Allred daughter. That's why Lisa Bloom was aggressive on her point of view. She wants to be a vocal lawyer like her mother. Interesting point. KB Chef says, what I don't understand is why is she not in jail? She should be. She should be, but she's hiding in Spain right now, so. Tis what tis. It is what it is. Snuggle Struggle says, Ice compacts cream and her Wolverine-like healing factors are defense of the pictures disproving turds' lies. Easy way to prove in court. Whack. Exactly. Debbie Childers says, oh my God, I've learned so much from you. You are so right. I love my first and second in my constitutional rights, the right to free speech and the right to arm bears, the right to bear arms, whichever one it is. I always forget. As Robin Williams used to say, may you rest in peace. Snuggle Struggle says, by the way, the young female actress that worked with law enforcement, which led to Weinstein's arrest, is literally still blacklisted from Hollywood. Hypocrisy. Curious. Subi Sue says, believe evidence. Hashtag that umbrella guy. That's a little typo, but that's okay. Hashtag Johnny Depp. Hashtag Johnny Depp is innocent. Hashtag DUY guy. Plus, again, typo. Subi Sue, thank you so much. Thank you very much. And Debbie says, I'm proud to call you a true friend. Likewise, love what you do. I love you too. Keep it up. And everyone, Larry is the best. Of course he is. You're absolutely correct. Thank you for stating the truth and being honest. I'm just tooting my own horn now. Okay. Let's see where they're at now. Somebody said they're like a 2.6. No, they're 2.09. They're almost a 2.1, which is still awesome. I mean, that's fun. We got them like 600 subscribers today. That's phenomenal. That is absolutely phenomenal. Anyway, never fear truth. I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope you all learned something. This concludes the Amber Heard surviving Amber Heard saga. So we are done with this portion of things. Now, obviously, there's going to be plenty more. Thank you again to what are the odds Rando Productions would show up literally in my chat? I'm still starstruck. I never get starstruck. I don't. I truly don't. I met Johnny, for God's sake. I met Johnny Depp in the flesh. If you don't believe me, here's the photo proof. Photos.google.com. Go to Google Photos. Let's see. I have to go back to July 2023. July 2023. Where are you? There it is. There it is. This is me with the Hollywood Vampires. I met Johnny Depp in Hamburg, Germany. This is back when he still had his boot on. There is Alice Cooper, Joe Perry, some random schmuck, Johnny Depp, and Tommy Henriksen. The five of us. I was not performing that day, although I have the Iron Maiden shirt. Anyway, but yeah, no, I'm meeting Johnny Depp. I wasn't really all that starstruck. I was only starstruck having Rando, because come on, as I'm doing their like watching their documentary, they just pop into chat. Like, are you kidding me? Gustav. That's comedy. That's funny. Anyway, so yeah, that was a day. That was an awesome day. I have this on a mug, and I have this separately. Somebody sent me like an awesome photo with me and Johnny like this, and they cropped it out. And look at my smile. I'm like grinning from ear to ear. Yeah, hashtag Photoshop, not real, fake. I call bullcrap. But no, it was real. It was real. I met him, and I wasn't even starstruck. I was starstruck when Randos came into my chat in the middle of a live, watching their documentary, and they told me that what part 4 is going to feature me in it. Like, come on, I have to tweet this. Are you kidding me? I'm tweeting that as soon as I get off the live. That's crazy. That is just absolutely crazy. So anyway, I thank you all for being here. I hope you all enjoyed this. I mean, it was heavy as always, but the truth, never fear truth. This is why we're watching this, because so far Randos Productions has literally taken the entire trial and made has taken the entire trial and made like a 4-hour so far, 3-part 4-hour documentary. So if you don't have hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on your hands, you know, like, was it like 40 hours a week for 6 weeks? Who has 240 hours to watch a jury trial? You have 4 hours to watch a documentary. You can do it in one night, you know, 3 pieces, and there's going to be one more. So it'll make it like, what, 5.5 hours total? And I'm going to be featured? Fuck yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. Larry, can I give your autograph? You want to give me your autograph? Sure, I'll take your autograph. I'm down. I think I know what you're trying to say, but like, my autograph is not worth anything. I don't know why would you want my autograph? Yeah, I'm messaging Tug as soon as I get off here. Are you kidding me? That's freaking awesome. That is freaking awesome. I'm so happy for Tug and for me and for Randos and for you all who get to enjoy this content. And I'm very much looking for, maybe it will cover the appeals. I wonder. I don't know. I don't want to speculate. I wanna let it unfold as it should, because the universe tends to unfold as it should. This is one of my favorite quotes. Just real quick before I let you guys go. Hopefully I don't get copyright struck for this, but yeah, it's just a scene. I shouldn't be, right? It's just a scene. Real quick. That part. maybe for some of us. I don't know. But yeah, right here. The universe tends to unfold as it should. And that is one of my favorite quotes of all time. And so it does.
In the end, the universe tends to unfold as it should.
There we go. That's it. Anyway, that is a line from the Desiderata, but you know, I prefer it from Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, because most people don't know the Desiderata. They only know Harold and Kumar. And so, Rare Aussie, thank you very much for the kind words. Yeah, I just realized that my stream, so my next stream is supposed to be at 8 o'clock. You know what? I'm just going to go live right now. So you guys ready? Let's fucking go.